Nyla Choates, and on this week's episode of MCU Presents Black Excellence, I'll be talking to two special guests, Kayla Choates and Jermell. And we'll be talking about two different topics. First, we'll be talking to Kayla Choates.
Hi.
Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
So first, can you please introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Hi, my name is Kayla Choates. I am a sophomore broadcast journalism major. I attend Texas Southern University, which is a historically black college university up in Houston, Texas. I also am one of 6 children, so I am the middle child. So from California, so I actually, went all the way to Texas for school, so it's a big change. But a little bit about myself: I'm Miss Sophomore at the school, a part of the debate team, and overall, I just love. I'm a people's person, so I love to talk and enjoy other people's company.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
So basically, I know that you've grown up going to a predominantly white institution, and you later changed going to a historically black college. So I want to know the difference and how it was growing up, switching schools from going to first a white community and then going to a black community for school. So can you first tell me about how it was growing up going to a predominantly white high school and elementary school?
So definitely a huge culture shock. I would have to say a huge culture shock. I'm going to a predominantly white institution. For me, it's kind of like the first type of things I was introduced and around growing up as a younger child. So I didn't really realize that I was different too much or that I wasn't around a lot of other people that looked like me until I got a little older. So around like 7th, 8th grade, I started realizing, hey, there's sometimes little racial comments that would be thrown out or little racial slurs, but I didn't really always catch it. A little naive and used to want to think, oh, rainbows and butterflies, peace and love. But as I got a little older, I realized, oh, no other person is wearing box braids in their hair. Oh, why don't they know the same Christmas Luther Vandross songs that I know,
Yeah.
So it's so many different things, but overall, going to a predominantly white institution, it put me around so many different types of people. So I was around a lot of Caucasians, Asians, Hispanics, so many different types of people by attending a PWI. So it allowed me to get accumulated and accustomed to other people's cultures and really educated me in a different cultural sense.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So it seemed like you enjoyed your experience there. Can you tell us one of your favorite moments that you've had growing up from, I believe it was elementary school till high school?
Yes.
Yeah.
From 1st grade till 12th grade, actually, in fact. One of my favorite memories would have to be in high school, which would be the food. Not only did I attend a predominantly white institution, I attended St. Francis in Mountain View.
Okay.
So it's a very wealthy school. So it being a wealthy school, we had very, very, very good food. So we had a chef that would cook for us, and we'd have different cuisines from Indian food to Mexican food to like New England clam chowder and so many different things in a bread bowl. We had amazing food, I would say, and just definitely it was small and like everyone knew everyone, so it'd be kind of like I love that sense of community, sense of knowing everyone.
Okay.
Yes.
So it seems like you really did enjoy it. But did you have any times where you felt like an outsider, being that one, black girl out of a bunch of students who don't look the same as you? And like, what did you find challenging, growing up in a PWI?
Oh, definitely. It was definitely very challenging. In high school, I was allowed a little bit more minorities than back in my elementary school, when I believe it was like me and my siblings were the only black family there, right? So for me in high school, there are more black people, but the thing is that what my school did was they recruited a lot of black people from certain areas to come and play sports. So they were really just recruiting black people for sports. So for me, I kind of fell down because I was always the only black person in like student council or like in different programs that involved leadership rather than just athletics, right?
Yes.
So to me, or like theater, different things like that. So to me, I would have liked to see more black people involved in different aspects of the school because I felt like it's not always nice feeling like the only minority, right?
Yeah.
And another thing is I never had a minority teacher until I got to college. Never once had a black teacher. Let me put it that way. I've had a Hispanic teacher before, but I've never once in my life I've ever had a black professor. Till freshman in high school, college.
Yeah.
So that to me is saying a lot right there in itself.
Yeah. Going off of that, how do you feel, having a teacher that looks like you? How would that influence you, and how do you think that helps you from having a teacher that doesn't look like you?
Having a teacher that you can relate to by just looking at them is a whole new different sense of comfort that I was never able to get. Attending a predominantly white institution at a historically black college where majority of my professors do look like me, we can have real conversations about everyday lives. We can talk about police brutality and what's going on, and not all the white people in my class turn to look at me. We could talk about Black history, and when they ask you to make people to make comments, all the non-Black people in the class will look at you and be like, "Oh, well, you're Black. You have to comment on Black history." So it's nice a sense of, oh, okay, they understand my struggle. We understand each other. It's kind of like a sense of knowing, a sense of peace, is comfort.
Yeah, I definitely understood that. So, growing up, always going to a predominantly white school, elementary school, high school, what made you choose to go to a historically black college? Did you have your options, or did you always know, oh, I want to go to an HBCU?
Actually, for me, I wasn't as educated on historically black colleges, universities as I'd like. My mom attended one. She had always pressed that she wanted at least one of her children to attend a HBCU, correct? And for me, I never really had a number one. I never really cared where I went to college. I just knew that I wanted a good program for my major because I am a broadcast journalism major. And at first, I actually wanted to attend Howard University. And when I found out I wasn't going to get in, my first thought was, where else do I think, I could fit in? And I realized that I wanted a city vibe, which Houston, Texas Southern University's location is great, being in Houston. And I wanted somewhere where they had a really great journalism program, and my school has a radio station on campus. My school has very, very good journalism program, so that's how I knew that, I wanted to go to HBCU, because I'm just like, you know what, let me try something new. I've been around the same type of people my whole life. I want to be around my own people.
Yeah.
I want to see Black professors.
Yeah.
I want to see Black excellence, Black students, I just wanted to see so much beautiful Black people, beautiful Black faces, and doing great things for themselves.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now that you are in that aspect currently right now as a sophomore, how has that improved you since freshman year? I mean, that big switch going from your mentality in high school to your mentality now in high school, in college. How do you feel that you've changed?
I've definitely changed a lot. Now I'm kind of able to point out more slick, sarcastic remarks in a way, like racism remarks, that now that I'm not around it. A predominantly white institution, for example. I was talking to my friend over the phone the other day, and her other friend was with her, and they made a comment, and they basically said something like a monkey. And I was just kind of like, that was racist, right? And they were like, what do you mean? I'm just joking. I was like, no, it's the fact that was what you chose out of everything. I was like, there was racism behind it. Yeah. So then, for me personally, it's kind of like, okay, now I'm able to peep things or understand things or comprehend things the way I wasn't able to before. And also by attending now a historically black college institution, I have definitely gained a backbone. Because about a huge part of Black culture is roasting and being sarcastic and just joking around. So I'm definitely more witty and on my feet now. And it's just so nice being in a sense of community. Everybody knows how to do my hair, everybody knows how to braid, or there's beauty supply stores on every corner. There's so many different things that I could talk about with my Black friends. My white friends would be like, oh, just, just go to Walmart. You can get your hair products there. It's like, no, you need a beauty supply store. So it's just so many different little things that I feel now versus a PWI.
Yeah, so you definitely got a feeling that you weren't alone and that there are people who related to you. That's amazing.
Definitely.
So you were talking about your teachers and how looking up and seeing a teacher that looks like you gave you a deeper feeling and connection to the class. Academically, have you improved since high school, or has it stayed the same?
Oh, I've improved tremendously since high school academically. For me personally, it's been a sense of, I went to a very, very challenging high school. So for me, I wasn't always able to keep up as much as I'd like, but I fell on the aspect of attending college and, be able to create your own schedule. You choose, what times you go to school. You choose your own classes, so many different things. And by having Black professors and Black teachers, they're able to give lectures that more I relate to, that I can comprehend. When I read stories, how in classroom settings, you would read little paragraph stories for a question you need to answer, and it'll usually be a name like Sally. Well, now I hear names like, I don't know, Rebecca, or, different things like that. Yeah. So I'm able to, just little more things to remind me of things I can relate to because it's Black names, or, Laterica, or something like that.
I think people definitely underestimate how small little changes like that, where names that you can relate to, really do impact a student growing up and hearing names that sound like yours and your families and people of color. So I want to know, do you recommend going to an HBCU to other Black youth in your community?
Oh, 100% go to an HBCU, go to a historically Black college university. It'll change your life. It will. The culture, right? HBCU culture. Beyonce brought it up a lot during her homecoming album. That's what it was based off of, right? HBCU culture, the sense of community, love aspect. Their step shows. The Greek life, fraternity, sorority life is completely different than a predominantly white institution's fraternity, sorority life. Strolling is a great aspect they have. So Greek life, the homecomings, HBCU homecomings are so different. The band, the dancing, there's just so many things that come into an HBCU culture, and when you think of that aspect. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Definitely.
And I realized that you have your whole life to be around all different sorts of people. Why not take some time and during such influential years and periods of growth, take some time to be around other like-minded minority individuals, and you guys all grow together and grow intellectually together. So yes.
All right, so I have one final question for you.
Yes.
And I want to know, what does Black excellence look like to you, and what does it mean to you, and how has Black excellence been? How have you shown it in yourself, and how have you seen it growing up? And so, and any last words that you'd like the viewers to see?
So basically, Black excellence to me means history in a way, right? So I think of my ancestors, I think of slavery, I think of the civil rights movement, I think of so many different points in history where Black people have prevailed, where they have overcome oppression, where they have risen to the top no matter all that was carrying them and the burden that was on their back, that people have always rose to occasion. So when I think of Black excellence, I think of rising to the occasion. I think of not letting what was told to you that you can't not be an option. For example, Oprah Winfrey, she was sexually harassed. She was sexually harassed. She was told that she wouldn't make it because she was Black. She was told she was ugly. She was told so many different things, but she didn't let that keep her down. Do you see where she is?
At the top.
At the very top, billionaire, one of the richest people in the world, in the universe. So that to me is Black excellence. No matter how many times you're told no, rising to the occasion, rising to the top, and always persevering. So when I think of Black excellence, I really have to think of the people who set the basis, because you have to give their credit, but you also have to think of people now, like Oprah Winfrey, even people back in the day like Harriet Tubman, who I'm going to go see the new movie tonight, actually. But this Black excellence being told, oh, you can't sit back here, but she sat back in that bus. She did, and that's like Rosa Parks. She sat back in the bus, and Harriet Tubman, she led so many people free. So you have
Yes.
to really realize that no matter what happens, Black people are always prevailing and
Yes.
doing their best. But what I really want to say, I guess you could say my last few words, is just take pride in yourself, positive affirmations, and knowing that you really can do anything you put your mind to. So, yeah.
Kayla, thank you so much for saying your wise words to us, and I really hope that the Black youth and just youth in general who are watching this take that to heart. So thank you so much again, Kayla.
Thank you so much.
Typically, jobs can be very stressful, whether it's because of a heavy workload or having to work for a lot of hours. Jobs can be very stressful. However, I have found a very successful solution on how to de-stress yourself. One thing I like to do to de-stress myself is go out and ride my bike. I've been doing this for about 6 months now, and I found a lot of benefits. After biking, I feel so much calmer, my muscles are a lot less tense, and I've realized that biking has made me a lot more focused at work and school, and my mind has become a lot more clear. And of course, I've always also realized the physical benefits. So biking is very good for you, and I highly recommend that you do that if you're stressed out.
Welcome back. We're now here to interview guest number 2, Jamel Keyes. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so can we start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I was born 25 years ago in St. Louis, Missouri, to a mother and a father. But my father died when I was 6 years old. So, yeah, it's okay. I mean, you really have to understand that, just because you lose someone, you have to continue to live on for them. So my mother, she taught me that younger. But, I am a very organized and structural guy, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay, well, coming up from your background and knowing that your sad passed, I'm so sorry. But I know that you have your own business now. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, my business is a moving business, but essentially we are adding digital to the moving industry.
Okay.
Opposed to having people charge by the hour, we're charging by inventory.
Okay.
That way the pricing method can be more efficient. And we're adding the tracking mechanism as well, because a lot of times when you are it's kind of hard to entrust somebody to move your items and you don't know nothing about them. So we want our contractors to kind of have the information about the customers and vice versa, because we want them to trust who are moving their items. So we're going to add the tracking. We're going to ensure that the customers know everything about the contractors. But yeah, it's called Lowe's Incorporated, and we're just adding digital to the moving industry and the trucking industry as well.
So is this going to be an app, a website? How is this supposed to work?
So it's going to be both. So essentially, we're going to add the software program to the website.
Okay.
So customers are able to book their move on the website as well as an app. So we want it to be an app so it can be very convenient. So the customers can have their, they can track everything that is going on their phones.
Yeah.
As far as like, for the inventory, we will have a option where they can scan the whole room and kind of see what's going on. So all those items can be on the app when they want to move, and also for the drivers as well, we're going to add a driving app for the drivers as well, so they can kind of track the items and know what's going on and where they're coming from and where they're going.
Okay, that sounds really great, but it seems like something that's very out of the ordinary for you to come up with. Did you have some type of drive where someday you just woke up and you're like, okay, I want to make a moving app, or what made you want to do this business in particular?
I believe I love logistics.
Okay.
I love by being very structural growing up, I love to clean. I love to make sure that everything is in the right place.
Okay.
So that grew into the idea of logistics. Being logistical means that you know where everything goes. So I wanted to create a business that can kind of promote my organizational skills. So the moving industry is the closest industry to my skill set.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to kind of really be there for their customers. I wanted to kind of have a platform where they can kind of be more relaxed, because I know the movie industry is really saturated. So I don't know, just being very structural just added to my logistics love.
Okay. So, are there any competitors right now with your business that you have that you're worried about?
So now I'm thinking about it, there are a few, but they're not doing what I'm doing. So, there's Bellhop, there's Atlas, United Move, Van Lines, but they're not doing what I'm doing. Essentially, they just have a website, and they're just brokers.
Okay.
But what I'm doing, I'm adding the peace of mind, and I'm going to ensure that everything is very, fluent, efficient, and people know what's going on from start to finish.
Yeah.
As it relates to finding that contractor, to to tracking those items, and to knowing when your package is going to be delivered.
Okay. That's good. It's a good peace of mind
Yeah,
to know
yeah,
your
for sure.
things are safe. So you said that you had moved from Missouri, that's where you were born, to California. So when did you have this move and why?
So yes, I was 25 years ago. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and now I am in California, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes.
I moved out here because I started my moving business back in St. Louis, Missouri, and back then I just had a website, I just had a service, I just talked to people, say, hey, do you want to help me move something? But coming out here, knowing that this city, this state, essentially is a technology state.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, so I wanted to move out here to add that technology to the platform that I was offering, because essentially technology can add the efficiency to a service.
Yes.
And it can make things more easy. So I wanted to move out here to meet different people in the technology world, because people out here, they breathe and eat technology.
Oh, yeah.
Back
Came to the right place.
Yeah, back in St. Louis, technology. When you think about technology, they just think about a cell phone. So coming out here, it's like, I needed that to be a part of my business moving forward.
Oh yeah, definitely with all the tech businesses that are out here in the big area, you definitely came to the right place.
Yeah, I'm
And
excited
You
for
probably have made a lot of connections and were able to network with great people. That's awesome. So what are some of the downside to starting your own business that you've gone through? Have you had any regrets of starting it? Can you tell me about some of the challenges that you've gone through?
So back in St. Louis, there's this stigma of a black business owner.
Okay.
And back in St. Louis, being a black business owner, they have this stigma of like, they don't know what they're doing, or what they're doing is not right, or they need help to build something because of their past. So I really don't let that take hold of what I'm building. Essentially it's going to always be there in certain people's subconscious, but I have a vision, and I know what I want. Sure, you have to work twice as hard to get, have the result, but I just believe you just have to focus on what you love, and always think about the customers. The more you think about them, the more convenient you're making things for them, the happier they'll be. So yeah, I just focus on what I have to offer.
Yeah. So that's what drives you to keep going throughout all the circumstances?
Yeah, I'm motivated.
Yeah.
I was always motivated as a kid. I always wanted to have control over something as it relates to being structured. So the movie industry and the logistics kind of add to my personality. So I wanted to grow that on a large scale and kind of provide that service to people.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs structure in their life, So I think I can add that.
That's awesome. So what were like the first steps that you took to start your business? Like you just made your own website? Like how were those steps, and like was it really hard and difficult to like one day like, okay, I'm actually gonna start this? Or was it first just a thought?
First you have to understand what do you need and what can you do?
Okay.
And I did a lot of research.
Yeah.
Because the background that I had, I was not exposed to business. My parents, she kind of dropped out of school, so I didn't have that the understanding of business. So it was a lot of research, and what's really interesting. I always wanted to own something, but I didn't know what I wanted to own. So I used to believe that sometimes business will come to you, but now I understand that the more you are with yourself and the more you grow your personality, the better that the business would be. So I just did a lot of research, and I understood that, okay, I'm very organized, maybe the moving industry or maybe the chauffeur industry. So I chose the moving industry because I like to offer people a peace of mind.
Yeah.
But research is essentially what I did, and I just went online. I called the Missouri Secretary of State, and I kind of got my C corporation, and just kind of did all these silly, simple, fun things. I did my website just to make sure people know where I was coming from, and the business card. So just that's the branding. I like the category.
Yeah.
Right, it's like branding, compliance, and all that stuff too.
Okay, so what are some of the goals that you have for your business going further?
Just make sure that people, just make sure things are simple. Ensure that people are getting what they want. Make sure the pricing is very affordable, because that the service can be amazing, but if the price is not affordable, then you lose the customer. So I always focus on the customer and what they want.
So being a Black entrepreneur, have you faced any challenges just with that itself?
Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of different people in technology, a lot of different races, a lot of different experiences in technology, and I feel like I always get the short end of the stick, because back, when I was talking about that stigma, like, okay, he don't know what he's talking about, I'm going to invest in this person as well.
Yeah.
So I still face that today, but I just really focus on what I can offer, and essentially if that person don't want to, invest in me,
Yes.
I invest in myself, and essentially the more bigger I grow, the more people want to invest in me because they see what I can offer. So I just move in a way that I just promote myself to shine the brightest light.
That's awesome. So what is your most favorite part about owning your own business?
Wow,
I know, it must be hard, yeah.
I like to think that my favorite part is the opportunity to let people know to essentially letting people know that, okay, it's going to be easy. Like I said, I really love structure, and I like to provide an opportunity for people to, to enjoy the service. I like to make sure the service is very easy.
Yeah.
Just being able to influence people. That's my favorite part. Seeing that smile,
Yeah.
and seeing that peace of mind at the end, and kind of having a conversation with their movers. That joy is what I, seek. It's just the happiness.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
That's awesome. So going off of that, is that like how you found your why for it?
I love people, and I
Yeah.
love joy, and I love conversation. So I believe one of the biggest part why I started the moving business is because I wanted to provide an experience for people.
Yeah.
And kind of see that smile
Yeah,
at the end of the
that's
service.
awesome.
So yeah, I believe that is my why. To just ensure that people are happy after, the ease of service.
All right, so thank you so much for telling us more about your business. And I'd like to close on the note of you telling us what your definition and how you reflect Black excellence and what you think Black excellence really is.
Black excellence to me is pushing forward, no matter how hard or how big that rock is, because
Yeah.
there's always going to be a rock ahead of you, for people in my skin. So, sometimes you have to dodge the rock, and other times you have to push through it. It's going to be heavy, but at the end of the day, your community, they will be there. They will provide their foundation to
Yeah.
push you forward. So it is nice to have that support system to kind of push you forward. But the Black excellence is all about, staying the course. Staying the course, and always knowing what your route will be. The more you know about yourself, the better your position will be as soon as you get there.
That is so awesome. That is so amazing, so inspiring. And what is one final thing that you would tell the viewers that are watching at home and, youth who may be also interested in entrepreneurship? What would you say to them right now?
I would say follow your heart.
Yeah.
I know that sounds wacky, but at the end of the day, you really have to focus on how do you feel about something.
Yeah.
Because the more you feel it, the happier you are with a service, the better the customer will be. So when you want to start a business, you have to focus on how do you feel. Because the better you feel about it, the better they will too.
Thank you so much, Jermell, for
Thank you for
telling
having
us,
me.
and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.